Okay, here's the boring bit. Anything you hear or see in this video is not investment advice. It could be absolute rubbish. Please do your own research. Hi there, welcome to the video. In this week's video, I'm going to look at updates on Nuformix, Itaconix, and an X, I quite like that. Bitcoin, look in the charts of Bidstack and several other charts. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up by all means. If you want the next one to your inbox, don't forget, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. It's very, very important. Okay? Don't forget that. Okay, let's start off with Nuformix. Had a massive move on Friday, 43% up. It was higher than this at 60% at one point. Why was this? Well, first of all, the company announced this, right? The share price movement, they announced an RNS. It confirms the company is in discussion with multiple potential licensees in Japan and Asia, including but not limited to its NXP2 program. This is very good news. It's not just NXP, maybe NXP1 as well. Now, discussions are ongoing. However, no final agreement has been reached. Now, why did this statement come out? Because of this report in the Times. So this was leaked here. Eastern promise to Nuformix, shares in Nuformix, the Cambridge-based drug company, are given it recent gains. But chatter, where's this chatter coming from? Chatter that Nuformix is close to securing a licensing deal with Kissei, a pharmaceutical, one of Japan's largest drug companies, has sent shares in the minnow higher in recent days. So the proprietary delivery mechanism resolves a number of efficacy problems that have plagued Kissei for years. The deal being discussed involves an upfront milestone payment of £15 million, annual royalty payments worth more than £200 million. If the deal is struck and structured on those terms, Nuformix will generate revenues well in excess of its current 40 million market value. Well, at the moment, where were we? We are at 53 after this rise. Now, Nuformix confirmed discussions are ongoing. Pretty much the general confirmation this is happening. So it was a rumour, then it was confirmed. What we don't know at the moment is the figures involved. And you can't rely on these figures. So this is very good news, but don't rely on these figures. I mean, 15 million sounds decent. 200 million per annum, that's phenomenal. If that's true, that's nuts, but that seems like a lot, heck of a lot. So I wouldn't trust these figures. I'd say a deal is ongoing, but I don't know where these figures have come from. So, I said the company didn't confirm these figures. So as yet, it's good news, but be careful. Don't go crazy. Like always, try and get a good deal. But be careful, as I'm saying. I want to see an RNS come out from Nuformix confirming the actual numbers. Until that happens, this part of it is just rumour. But nevertheless, a good deal, or it's a deal, it looks good news. And like I said, I like their tech. I like the Dan and the guys there. They all hold skin in the game. It fits my, filters. But be careful with these figures. The share price has rallied. Never buy into stock. Average rallied by 43%. Let it calm down. I hold some position in this, but I won't be going nuts here because the RSI has gone crazy. I'll look at the chart on it later. Okay, on to Itaconix. It's quite good news. Expansion of Croda supply and joint marketing agreement. Now, Croda is one of the biggest players in this field in the world, so to have a partnership like this is good. An expansion to its existing global supply agreement with Croda to include an additional polymetric zinc complex. I don't know, but listen, this is good news. It's expanding. They haven't got a big. I thought when I first read this, I was on the treadmill and I read this. I thought it said £600,000 down payment, and I was quite disappointed with 60 grand. But I like this company as yet. They've given a profits warning for this, or a revenue warning for this year. So revenue's going to be $1 million. They're valued at 4.2 million. Next year, hopefully 3 million revenue. It's growing, decent growth here. But as yet, I'm going to hold on. I bought a little more on the dip, not a huge amount. I'm a long-term investor, but I think this is going in the right direction. I like the company. I like John, the CEO. Again, skin in the game, tech. It fits my filters. Patience is needed. But I think, to be honest, in the sub 5 million market cap sector, this is one of the higher quality stocks around, I believe. So that's why I'm holding on to it. I'm going to talk about Metro. I did hold Metro. I've had an argument or discussion with Alan Green on the podcast about Metro Bank. And they released their Q3 results. There's a lot of people, private investors, saying a short squeeze is going on, ramping this or talking it up. I just want to go over the figures because this business is deteriorating. It's not getting better, all right? So this was the results. They made a 3.3 million loss. This is compared to a £34.4 million profit in Q3 last year. That's a 110% reduction. Don't pretend, the share price has dropped by a heck of a lot. We know that. But I don't believe it's improving the business. In fact, it's not, I don't believe it. They've said it's not. So total deposits, this was their one, I think, the capitalization and this is the silver lining. But you don't earn money from having a well-capitalized bank. And you don't earn money for just having deposits go up. You have to loan. A bank earns money by loaning money out. That's their model, okay? That is not looking great. So look, so deposits were up in Q3. This is the 3 months, of course, to September. £500 million or 528 million. This is still 4% below Q3 last year. So there's no growth year on year on depositors. So their big headline, sort of optimistic line here is deteriorating, okay? This deposit growth occurred because they raised the price of fixed term and it's coming at a cost. They've had it incentivized to encourage people to, take up accounts with Metro. So it costs them. So as a result, the most recent month figures we have, September, saw deposit outflows of 213 million. Over the 3 months, this was up by 428 million. But the last month, we have numbers on, outflows, 213 million, okay? Now, because they incentivized people to open accounts for them, it costs them 20% extra. Costs rose close to 50 million or 48.9 million, okay? And the margin went down from 1.82 to 1.58. That is a scarily thin margin. Really is, no loan growth on that. That's where banks earn their money, by loaning money. That's what banks do. That's their model. And so this is where they admit it's not going to get any better. So the outlook going forward, the next quarter, is not going to get any better, guys. So if you're thinking the share price is going to rise on operational guidance or improvement, it's not. Margin trends experienced in Q3 2019 are expected to continue into Q4, getting weaker in addition to the cost of servicing senior non-preferred debt. So they've taken on these big, debt piles, pretty much, bonds, issuing bonds at 9.5% and 5.5% last year. That's going to hit their bottom line even more. They just said that. And deposit growth, this is what they've been shouting about. That's going to slow down in Q4. So the two main areas are deteriorating. They also said Metrobank is further evaluating future growth plans. This means they can't keep opening branches. It's very capital intensive. So their main model is in question here, okay? In the intervening time, the bank will optimize capital. You've got to look what that means. You've got to sell off some stuff, maybe. Continue to progress with this cost efficiency program. Hardly, they saved a couple of million, if that. And we'll look for further income diversification. Again, what they're doing at the moment is not working. They're looking at other ways to earn money. Now, they're well capitalized. Got to give them that. We don't earn money from that. That's just dead money sitting there. So they pay about £33 million in bond interest. Next year, add 47 million to that with this new bond issue. They're going to be paying £80 million a year in interest. 80 million. This is twice the profit of their best year last year. And next year is not going to get better. It's going to get worse. So you have that building loss on top of already a deteriorating business. The outlook is worse. This is a deteriorating bank, okay? Now, a lot of people are saying, yeah, it's a short squeeze. The shorts will come out. Let me just say one thing about these guys doing shorts, okay? They are professionals. They do this for a living. You or the guys on Twitter ramping this are private investors who probably have a different job. You're probably not doing it full time. They would not attempt to do what you do for a living. If you're a plumber or whatever you do, if you work somewhere, I don't know what you do, work in an office, you do your job, they do their job. They spend every working day evaluating the business. They've crunched the numbers. Have you? How much, if you're a private investor and you're banking on this just rallying to £5, it may have a tight squeeze, but if you're just banking on hope These guys have crunched the numbers. It's what they do for a living. It's like me and 14 other mates of mine deciding to have a charity game against England rugby team or Wales or South Africa and New Zealand, hoping to beat them on the off chance. It's not going to happen. They are professionals. It's like me hoping to beat Usain Bolt after a couple of weeks training. It's not going to happen. He's a professional. These teams, these people, they eat and drink, exercise healthily. Their one aim is to be good on the rugby pitch or to be fast on the track. Same with these shorters. Their one aim is to make money shorting. They're professionals. It's what they do for a living. They're not just messing around with it. They've crunched the numbers. I guarantee any money, they've got a spreadsheet 10 times more complex than you have as a private investor. If you're just hoping that this will rally on the capital alone, you're wrong. It's like Get Carter. Do you ever see that Get Carter? Michael Caine, and now it's redone by Sylvester Stallone. When he comes up against this guy, basically, he's a fighter and a protection guy. You know, he does it for a living. And he comes up against this guy who tries to have a go at him. He said, mate, think about what you're doing. I do this for a living. I fight and beat people up for a living. You're overweight and you're out of breath. Don't mess around with me. And he sorts him out. You're messing with professional guys. These are not guys just on a whim have decided to put millions of pounds into shorting this bank. They've done it doing a lot of research. They know their stuff. This is their business. Do you understand? It's not your business. Don't think, oh, they have no idea what they're doing. Have a look at the companies that are shorted. Debenhams, Thomas Cook. They are the most highest shorted companies. Now Metro Bank. Do you think they're just guessing here? Just playing around? They're not. You're messing with professional guys. Don't be so stupid. I wouldn't attempt to do, or those guys wouldn't attempt to do what you do for a living. Don't try and take them on at their game. Because do you know what? They've out-researched you. Full stop. Okay? Protect your capital. Don't think you're going to get a lucky break against professionals. It won't happen. Okay. Let's look at Bitcoin. This is the countdown. 199 days left till the halving. If you saw my previous video, click top right of the screen for the eye there. How significant halving's been the last twice it's happened. And how significant it's been to returns if you take the position 6 months before. Massive. Okay? Now Bitcoin, look, went berserk. Bitcoin rallies close to 40% in 24 hours. The backed exchange said today we set a new daily record of 1,100 Bitcoin futures contracts traded. Big news here. This is massive news. The second biggest economy in the world. Xi Jinping has said China should seize the opportunity and adopt blockchain. It's been said for a long time. President of China's People Republic said the company needs to seize the opportunity afforded by blockchain. And you know, the biggest proponent of blockchain is Bitcoin. People say that's why it rallied, you know? It rallied massively. Forbes said when the Bitcoin price recovered a couple of $100 per Bitcoin a few minutes, some $150 million worth of short positions on the Seychelles space, BitMEX, were liquidated. Shorts covering here, according to Bitcoin cryptocurrencies insider skew. This triggered what's known as a short squeeze, when asset rapidly increases in value due to the short sellers trying to cover their positions, resulting in buying volume that drives the price up. All right, so a massive re-rate here. By the way, as you know, Mark Zuckerberg was in front of the Congress there, made a hash of it. Absolute hash. Libra is not, blockchain tech, or it is blockchain, but it's not decentralized. Bitcoin, I said, its dominance, it's very dominant. The fact it's decentralized as well is its strength. No one can take it down. He hasn't got a CEO. You can't bring up the CEO and check him in front of the Congress or the SEC and question them because it's owned by everyone around the world. It will become the new digital gold. But this is a guy here, a US congressman, thinks Bitcoin will have enormous value and utility over the longer term. He said Republicans, what's his name? Patrick McHenry of North Carolina also shared his thoughts on Bitcoin this week during an interview in Laura Shin's Unchained podcast. Notably, McHenry was one of the multiple members of Congress that recently claimed government won't be able to ban Bitcoin. This is a massive move. So one of the criticisms you always get is, oh, Bitcoin will be banned by governments. It can't be. That's the whole point. It's not owned in any one country. There's no owner, there's no corporation behind it. It's the people's currency. It's anti-inflationary. It'll be the new digital gold. The congressman stated on more than one occasion that he expects Bitcoin to have tremendous value and utility over the long term. He holds Bitcoin, doesn't he? Libra is not a cryptocurrency, however, and we need to stop lumping it together with the very real, very important projects that are out there like Bitcoin. True, absolutely true. So if you've done no research and you think, well, Libra is getting nowhere, Bitcoin won't, you don't understand. Putting Libra in with Bitcoin, comparing the two, is like comparing, some shoddy tech with Apple. It really is. So there's loads of what's called, I don't want to swear in this podcast, SHIT coins out there. They're not, you can't compare them to Bitcoin. Literally, it's like comparing a cheap car, a cheap sports car, a budget sports car to a Ferrari. Doesn't compare. Does not compare. And you go under the dominance of Bitcoin and just the decentralization of it. And the amount of, I talked about this several times, the amount of investor, or institutional investor, interest there is at the moment. It's massive. Backed, by the way, they're now going to do so much uptake here, options contracts on Bitcoin futures. So they've done, like I said, futures contracts here, but options on that. The contracts are designed to let institutional investors hedge or gain exposure to Bitcoin. They'll settle the BAC's monthly futures that were launched in September. So this is big news here. Let's look at some charts here. This is Bitcoin. By the way, let's get my head out of the way. I do apologise, my bald head's in the way. I'll put this here. And, okay. So, it's rallied massively. We come at the lows here. Like I said, look at this. Hit these kind of lows. No one knows why this is happening, but it came down here, look. Really oversold here. It doesn't happen very often. I kept saying this. It doesn't happen very often. Bitcoin doesn't go oversold on a daily basis like this on the RSI very often. And then all of a sudden it rallied from 7,400 up to almost 10,400. $3,000 in a couple of days. That's the volatility of Bitcoin. I'm saying, though, don't buy Bitcoin here. Don't buy it here. It's too volatile at the moment, and we've gone from an RSI of just a 30 to 64. It's not unusual to be oversold, but let it calm down, I believe. I'm not going to tell you what to do, actually. Do what you need to do, but I believe this will have a calming down. It'll come down back here. I think see this yellow line here, this previous support, which is, 9,400, may provide a bit of resistance. If it plows through that, who knows where it's going to go. Halving is coming up. So 199 days. That's a huge milestone for Bitcoin. And people will start accumulating now. Look at the volume here. Look at this volume. When has this volume seen this before? I'm going to scroll back. Let me just point out one thing. I noticed it bounced below the 200-day moving average, all right? Off a high. And it crossed, the 50-day moving average, death cross, okay? So let's just look at the last time it's done this. So it did it here. Let me just... In the last rally, let me just scroll back. In the last rally, it did this. So, when it punched the 200-day moving average before, it came down to 7,900. And of course, it does rally back up. It's very volatile. It's oversold. Again, touch 30 here, rally back up. But again, this came back down. We had the death cross here. Okay, 9,300. And it grinded lower. And so we went from 78 down to 3,000 down here? At the low? 3,200. So that's the last time this happened. Last time Bitcoin came down on the 200-day moving average. Let's go back again when this happened again. Because it has happened previously. And again, it wasn't a good outcome for Bitcoin. It's quite bearish. There we are. Here. So let me just expand this. So last time I did this, it came down It hit, what's the price here? Get my head out of the way, for heaven's sake. 11,000. Look at the rally on this. Let me just expand this. Look at the rally. So It came down. This is in 2014. It punctured the 200-day moving average. Okay, death cross here a bit later on. Come down, broke back up there. So people think, okay, yes, above the 200-day moving average. It's bearish. It's bullish again. Sorry. And then what happened then? This is when it was $670. Was. It came down to $200, a third. All I'm saying is be very careful. The difference here now is that we've got a halving coming up, which is very bullish. But try to get a good price. That's all I'm saying. I mean, if I were you, I'd try and get the RSI coming down, cooling off a little bit. Because twice, in summary, twice that the price has crossed downwards the 200-day moving average, it's rebounded aggressively, bounced above the 200-day moving average, but grinded lower afterwards. So will it happen this time? I don't know. All you can work off is probabilities. So what I'm careful of, don't think it's going to the moon. Take your time, be careful. You know, buy on weakness if you're going to invest. Don't overexpose. Bitcoin is very volatile, but I think there's a long-term future is very good. But like I said, it's very volatile. Okay, let's go to some stocks. This is Nuformix. Look at that. Wow. Again, this was the support area here, hit this several times, and all of a sudden volume came in on that and popped that up. Hit this area here. Look at that. In this area, last sort of high, resistance here. RSI, that's 80. It'll come back. Let it calm down. Don't buy up here. Let it come back. It'll come back. You always have opportunity. It's not going to shoot back up here. I believe it'll come back down and even, you know, come to this area again, this previous resistance maybe of 10 pence, around about here. Let it come back, all right? Let's look at Bidstack. We're having some issues here, Bidstack. Look, it's broken this previous channel here. It's broken that. It's down now at 19. It's getting down towards almost oversold in the RSI. This previously has been a very good place to buy. I'm going to start scaling in here. If it gets to 30, we see some more weakness, I'm going to start scaling in. I just think now we've had enough weakness on Bidstack. We've seen the momentum here when it really moves, and I just think it'll move up again on good news. That's all it needs is good news, you know, as a catalyst, it'll move. But I'm going to start scaling in sooner or later. What else should we look at? Let's have a look what I've got here in my skin. What's happening with skin? It's nothing a lot at the moment. Don't think yet. This is support level here. Holding nice on the 200-day moving average. It's good. Open Orphan. Anything happening here? Oh, I misspelled it. That's why. Again, it's grinding here. Lower low, lower low. I think though, maybe this will be a low here, hopefully. It's building up. The guys have done a lot of PR, sharing the story. We just need some news now to confirm their plan, you know? I do believe it's going to happen. Polarean, again, we need to see some news on that. We are, 2 patients away from completing enrollment. This is a slow bit, you know, for Polarean. But again, support here, look, I think. So this is a slow period for Polarean. Once they get these patients done, that's it. They're away, you know. They're processing the data as they're going. They've got 2 more patients left. Once they get, you know, past this stumbling block of enrolling patients, news will move quickly, I believe. Safestay is so annoying. Wey Education, Bidstack's down there. Immotion. Let's have a look at Immotion, actually, by the way. It's a good little chart here because it was looking very good, strong, punching up. Yes, look at that. Resistance. Hit resistance, bowed up. So it may consolidate here now. We'll see a bit of resistance, but hopefully it'll poke through that again. Just needs to calm down an RSI. Wey Education, I think, you know, undervalued company. Plenty of cash, growing. Again, this is the resistance here, this level here. Support here, the tight range there. I just want to look at Safestay as well. Look at this. Going nowhere. All-time low, pretty much. And yet valued on net assets above where it's at and growing nicely. Be nice to get that 200 moving average. Where is it at? 34. If it gets above that, doesn't need a lot. and it could do very well. Thank you for watching. If you watched to the end right now, if you got any value from this video whatsoever, hit that thumbs up, give it a share. Share it with someone who may like it. They've been saying they like it. And if you haven't subscribed and you want the next one to your inbox, don't forget, click my face right there, then hit the notification bell, and there's also some more videos for you to look at right there. Thanks very much.